We are live with Dave Jose. This is an emergency broadcast set out for all the people. You are, first of all, you are 100% appreciated and you are 100% needed. I'm going to share this video. Hopefully, everybody can get on. I want to welcome everybody that's on. I want to welcome Josh Barnett, a real fighter for the people who has stood in such a brave manner in order to help us to be able to take things to the next level. He is doing some things behind the scenes right now that is opening the doors, and we're going to reveal it to everybody if he says it's cool. Um, I want to also let you know once again this video is a 911 call, guys, to save America. It's a 911 emergency call to save America. Y'all waiting on an emergency broadcast? Well, here it is, right? We got to get ready to stand and do the things that we need to do to keep our nation. We can no longer allow for dirty politicians and dirty government officials to do the work that we are supposed to do. We realize that they are not following the work that they're supposed to do. If you can, I want you guys to share this video with everybody. I'm going to pray. By the time we're done praying, I hope you guys got to share it all over. Share it in the groups. Share it on YouTube. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever other stuff is you guys use, whatever. I don't know. I'm old, but um, I want you guys to share this video like crazy. Let's get the numbers up and get the people who are looking for remedy. Let's get them that remedy that they desire. Furthermore, I'm like I said, I'm going to pray and get right ready to rock and roll. So as I'm praying, please share. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you thanking you for being a great and awesome and wonderful God. We thank you for who you are. We thank you for your love and mercy. We thank you for your truth. We thank you, Father, for letting us see the types of things that are happening, Father, that we might wake up, stand, and be strong in the power of your might, in the power that has been given to our forefathers who put great things into the constitutions for us to stand on. Father, help me to make a video that is clear, easy to understand, and that touches the heart of the people and pushes them to stand and to use their power, to use the law, Father, that we might win the victory. We trust in you and we know that you can do all things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so how's it going, cat and dog lover? Guys, I'm letting you guys know that we have an emergency situation. We have to stand and fight for our nation right now. Hey, Roy Palmer. Now, guys, I am not in fear right now at all because I really believe that God is going to deliver. I believe that the people are going to stand up and that blood of the patriots that have laid forth such amazing groundwork in this nation, that blood is going to flow through the veins of the people and warm up and beat harder. Your heart's going to beat harder than it ever has before. And you're going to take action and you're going to do powerful things. And I believe this because when the people see the truth and the people see the law, the people usually stand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us practical application today. A lot of people talk about constitution. They talk about law. They talk about good stuff, Roy. I appreciate it. A lot of people talk about fighting, standing. Some people talk about fighting physically and all this stuff. But the truth is, as Josh Barnett says quite often, is not about how quick you can fight with a gun. It's not about how quick you can fight with your fist, but it's more so about how quickly you can use the law to stand on the rights that you have when we are in peace. I appreciate the share, Josh Barnett. Everybody else, please share this on Facebook, Twitter, any other place that you have that we can share. Now, guys, I'm going to ask you a question. Hey, Lavia. I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you guys, I don't know if you can do hearts on here, say yes if you got to type it in the comments, but how many of you guys are sick and tired of not knowing what to do? How many of you guys are sick and tired of waiting on some plan to take care of you and would rather stand on your rights, know your rights, be able to use it, and understand how all this works. Like, if I can simply show you where your power is, how you're supposed to stand, and what they're hiding from you as government, so an attorney, so that you don't know where to stand, and I can bring you into comfort because you know you're standing, and I can show it to you in law so you can take action. How many would like that? How many would really appreciate being able to have it broken down for you what type of government we have and how we use it to fix stuff? I'm so overwhelmed. I understand, Roy, and that's the thing. Like, I can feel the heart of the people, and I can see that people are tired. People are sad. They're wondering if Trump is going to do something. People are talking about some plan that's supposed to come in March. In the meantime, Joe Biden is getting people fired, writing stuff on blank pieces of paper like an idiot. But guys, if we truly understand the law, we're going to find that we have remedy already that government is not trying to tell us about, people are not trying to tell us about. So let me get into it. First of all, how many of you guys have heard people say we have a democracy? And then how many of you guys have heard people say we have a republic? Now, if you heard yes to both of them, just type in the comments yes, yes. Now, the reason that I ask you to speak up, number one, it is easier for people to learn when they can have different modes of their senses being used. So if they can touch something, if they can taste, they can smell, they can hear, they can see, right? So just seeing me and having me tell you something does not necessarily encode the subject um, the best that we possibly can. So what I want to do is have you guys interact with me so that we can make sure that everybody's learning and everybody's understanding, because you guys are truly what we need to save this nation. It is the honest to God truth. It is not President Trump who can save this nation. It is not me by myself that can save this nation. It is God who saves the nation, and God tells us that when the people is one, nothing shall be impossible to them. Nothing shall be restrained to them that they should imagine to do. So I don't need to fill you guys with false hope. I don't need to fill you guys with hoorah and hooray. What I need to do is give you the tools that you need to know that you're in the right, because all of you are law abiding people. And because you are law abiding people, that's why you're not rioting. That's not why you're not out in the street hurting people and doing all this crazy stuff. It is because you are law abiding people. That's what it is. Now, so what I want to do is um, I want you guys to see how the law really works. And it's going to be mind blowing. Now, people keep trying to tell you guys that you are a democracy. They don't use the word republic. The reason they don't use the word republic is because you might find out what the freak it really means. If you find out what the freak republic really means, or Republican form of government, you're going to fall out your freaking chair while you're standing up. That's how crazy it's going to be for you. When it freaking hits you in your mind what a republic really is, or Republican form of government, or a republic, or like Josh says, constitutional republic, it is going to take you from here to here. You're going to go out the freaking screen. So let's discuss this. So democracy. Does anybody know what democracy means? What does it mean if you are under a democracy? Somebody help me understand. If you don't know, say I don't know, and that's fine. This isn't a thing where we're trying to show who's the smartest. We're just trying to break the cycle of there being a lack of knowledge that is causing us to have destruction. The Bible tells us the people perish for a lack of knowledge because they reject it. There you go. Who is that Holly Claire with your bad self? Ah, look at Josh, 50 plus 1. Democracy means majority rules, mob rules. They call it mob rules because when the number, and everybody share this to get these numbers up, because everybody needs to hear this, and keep sharing this, guys. Share it in your Facebook groups, your different groups online, so people can learn. Now, when people have votes to tell the decision of what's going to happen, that is a democracy when the majority rules. Now, where do we find that? If you go to Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution, you're going to find in the end right before the last one, I think it's the one before last, clause before last, it's going to say that Congress shall have the power to legislate in all cases whatsoever in the district that is 10 square miles. So Congress is writing legislation for them and District of Columbia. And what happens is they're voting for the rights of the people. Now people are going to say, well, I don't believe that. My attorney didn't tell me that. Screw what your attorney said. Let's look at this. The District of Columbia doesn't have a Bill of Rights to tell how all cases are going to be handled. See, in Arizona, it says the people have all political power. You can't mess with the people in the private. In Texas, it says the government is accepted from touching or making any laws against the Bill of Rights. They have no power to stop your rights as the people. In DC, they don't have that because the government is writing how all cases will end up in all cases. So they're telling you what you can do by legislation in all cases. So in Arizona, when they take your kid based on Title 42, or they give you a child support order based on Title 42, they're claiming that you're a United States citizen and you're bound by the democracy wherever you go. So your rights in Arizona as a DC citizen does not apply in Arizona. DC doesn't have a Bill of Rights. Nevada is good. If you look at the Bill of Rights or Declaration of Rights in Nevada, you're going to find you got a lot of power that they don't tell you about. So what I'm going to do is show you guys the difference between a democracy and a republic. They keep psychologically instilling in you and hammering into your mind that you are a democracy. We got to fight for our democracy. We ain't got no freaking democracy as Americans. We have a constitutional republic. Now we got to ask somebody other than Josh, because Josh knows all this stuff. Does anybody know what a republic is, or a republican form of government? Can somebody tell me? This is going to, when you understand this, is going to blow your freaking mind. And Josh, are you still here? Does anybody know what a republican form of government is? What is a republic and what powers do we have in a republic? This is going to help us to see how we fight, guys. Okay, Josh is still here. Perfect. Does anybody other than Josh, because I know he know what a republican form of government is, or a republic is? Come on, people. I think I got a 10-second delay. So I want you to put in the comments. If you don't know, just say, we don't know. We need to know so we can start freaking fighting. That's my goal here. My goal is not to show up anybody. I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. I'm a chocolate brother from the ghetto. My goal is to help people be free today. We the people run the government, okay? That's kind of it. That's very close. Now, if we the people run the government, like Lady E said, my question is have we been running the government? Have we been giving them things to do? Right? Because the people say, like, an idle mind is the devil's playground. Right? That's not in the Bible. But if you just let your mind do nothing, that's what happens. Well, Sherry, that is a good question. She said, is this why Texas wants to become its own state? Texas is its own state. And to keep Republican powers. They have Republican powers. The people are trying to exercise it, is what's happening. It is the power of the people to run by our chosen representatives. Now, guys, I think we have gotten to the point, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, we have gotten to the point where we also don't understand what the word representative means anymore. I mean not its own state, its own country. Here's the truth. Texas is its own country right now. And Arizona is, and Michigan, and Florida. They're all their own country. And I can prove it. Now, here's what I want you guys to think about. Are we running the government? Now, Republican doesn't necessarily just mean running the government. I'm going to use the law as it is written. Now, here's what a lot of the law guys do that is bad. A lot of the law guys say, trust me, I'm telling you what the law is because I say so. And what happens is that you never get a firm ground to stand on because you ain't never seen it nowhere. So all of us who was raised believing in the Bible and stuff like that, in the Bible we see where it says, "Prove all things, hold fast to that which is good." So our job is to look at evidence of things, prove them to see what's right, hold fast to the good stuff, throw away the bad stuff. Now, here's the thing. There are capital S states, capital STATE, that are corporations, subsidiaries of the federal corporation. But there's always a Republican form of government there. And I'll prove it. I'm not going to just tell you. Now, the problem is we've been told we have a democracy. Because we've been told we have a democracy and we don't understand what democracy means, we have no will to go find out what a republic is because we're not taught that and we don't talk about it. So the reason that they need people who are black, white, Hispanic, and Democrat, Republican always fighting is because we'll never talk about what it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to be because we don't like each other. We don't talk to each other. That's not what we do. But what I'll do is I'll show you guys, based on the law, what a Republican form of government is or what a republic is. And then I'm going to use that to help uplift you and give you courage and build you up with most perfect wisdom, right? Not completely perfect, but most perfect wisdom. God's wisdom is perfect. But I'm going to give you perfect knowledge of what you can read and where you can find the law and how you can understand it so that you can use it for your benefit. How many people are like that? Right? So give me some feedback and let me know if this discussion is going the way you like and is keeping your mind focused on what the plan is and what we have to do. We ain't trusting nobody else's plan, right? We're not hoping that the military does right. We ain't hoping that Mike Pence does right. We ain't hoping that President Trump takes the nation back. If he does, he does. But we cannot live our life hoping that somebody else is going to do what we're supposed to do. Understand, we love Donald Trump for what he's done good. But Donald Trump is just a servant. That's all he is in his capacity as a government official. We cannot put our duty on him. He can only do as much as we allow to happen. As soon as we freaking get tired of what Donald Trump does, Biden does, or anybody else does, we can remove them by right. And I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what the law says. So we can't hate each other. We can't dog each other. We're at a time where we got to pull together and love each other. And I'm going to tell it to you like this. Black Lives Matter people, they used y'all and then threw y'all in the freaking trash and wouldn't even talk to y'all. All the white people I know who said Blue Lives Matter, when they go down to DC, the people who are blue as the police spray y'all with pepper spray when y'all weren't even hitting nobody. They were inciting violence against y'all. And so the black people I have seen and love, I've seen you get your butt kicked when you wasn't doing stuff wrong. And I've seen the white people get their butt kicked when they were doing nothing wrong. I've seen Hispanic people get their butt kicked when they weren't doing anything wrong. So you can't play and act like no more that the police are following the law. And if everybody just is in law and order, that they're not going to kick your anus. No, they will kick your anus because they're getting paid paychecks. And because they're getting paid paychecks and they have a license to be able to do law work, that can be used against them because they have to feed their family and do what's right. Now, I ain't saying every cop, but a lot of them, right? Now, I'm not mad at police officers. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not one of these aggressive people that go out hurting people. I'm going to show people the law. And what's going to happen is we're going to stand on it. We're going to love each other more. We're going to come together even tighter. We're going to protect each other. We're going to remove ourselves from anything that will harm us because we have a choice. Now, you guys, we all have what's called individual rights. If Josh reminds me, I'll get back into that later. But what I want to do is I want to show y'all the Republican form of government and what it means. That's right. Children are being stolen and being brainwashed. We need to fix that. Not Donald Trump, not Biden, not freaking Kamala Harris, right? None of these people have the power to control what we need to control. We are the people. Now, somebody said that we need to run government. So someone said that they are our representatives. So how many of you guys would agree that we have a lot of people in Congress that are our leaders who um, our leaders who are not following what we like? How many people would say yes to that? And I want to hear people, I want to see your typing. How many people believe that we have Republican leaders in Congress that are not hearing the people? How many people believe we have Democrat leaders in Congress that are not hearing the people? Yes. Okay. Lady E said yes. Now, Lady E, I don't know if you one of my peoples already that I talk to all the time. I can't tell by the name. Homeschool your kid. That's a good idea. What do we see, guys? Can somebody tell me? Do we see? Okay, Roy Palmer said yes. Now, I'm going to let you guys see where we don't understand Republican form of government. The question I asked was, do we see Republican leaders and do we see Democratic leaders that are not listening to the people? And that question was a form of a trick question to understand where your thinking is. It is proven with that question being answered the way that it was by several people that we don't understand what Republican form of government means, even if we understand the word somewhat. Here's why. I just asked you guys, do we have Republican or Democratic leaders who are not hearing us? If you believe we have leaders, then you're not the leader. So therefore, we cannot be running the government. If you have leaders, you're running nothing. If you are the leaders, you know that it's your job to take action. You know why they're not hearing us? Because we don't think we're leaders. We're not instructing them. You can look at some of the state constitutions and it tells you that the people have the right to instruct their representatives. You are to be paving the way. You never gave them anything to do. I never gave them anything to do. So if we don't give them anything to do, what are they going to do? What the freak they want to do, right? If you don't give your government officials something to do as the people, that's right. We are the leaders. They are our trustees and servants. Y'all see that? That's right. That's right, Roy. We have to move in body mass. So we have to come together and tell these people what we want. And Josh and I are going to exercise a notice that we have in Arizona, and you guys will see us do it if he gives me the permission to. I really don't move without Josh. If he tells me he wants to move, he don't want to move yet, I don't move. So if he says it's okay, I'm going to explain to you guys what we're going to do, but I'm going to explain to you this Republican form of government. Now, after what we just discussed, do any of you guys more so understand now that we are the leaders? Trump be cool. Don't say that. Don't say, what do we do if the people don't follow our instructions? Because here's the thing. The first thing we have to do is exercise our rights and then see how they respond. Exercise our rights and see how they respond. Now, we just watched Josh Barnett give notices of treason and different things. Hey, Simon Says, what's up, bro? Love you. How are you and the Queen today? We watched Josh give affidavits and notices of treason to a legislature that didn't want to do any work, didn't want to come back. And Trump be cool. I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I love the heck out of you. I'm saying it like, don't say it because I don't want you to speak doubt into your actions before you take action. See, anytime we do anything, if we say I'm going to the store, you don't take the first step with fear and a timid type of step. You turn and walk towards the store. You don't say, I wonder if this step is going to touch the ground. I understand. I know it wasn't. I'm just saying, don't say it that way because I want you to walk in belief in your actions. See, they have made us to believe that our strength is not what it is and that we don't have the powers that we have. And so, hey, Regina, love you. What I have to do is I have to explain to you guys your strength while instilling into you that you have power at the same time. I'm not going to tell you to do things that you don't have the power to do. In your state constitutions, it says the people have all political power or all power. So when government officials come into play, you have power over them and they're always amenable, meaning accountable to you. Now, if I don't explain it to you this way and put full strength and power into you and let you see where this is true, then you have nothing to stand on. That's right, Sherry. And this is the thing about faith in God. God gave us dominion and told us that we can choose what kind of government we want. And when the people come together to choose what government they want, the people who work for us make an oath. And God tells us that if you swear an oath, you better keep it because God hates covenant breakers. So these people who work for us swore an oath to us, not us to them. We say we'll pay you if you do what we say. But you can't take money from us under false pretenses and do what the freak you want to do. That don't work. So let me show y'all the first example of how we stand in our power and what power we have. Let's look up. Um, let's look up what we have with Josh. It's going to be the Bill of Rights of Kentucky, and I'm going to let you guys see a definition in action. A definition in action, so you can be strong and you can understand what powers you have. So we're going to look at um, Kentucky Bill of Rights, Section 2. Big Randy, love you, bro. My and myself want to advocate for Las Vegas. We have been wronged. Okay, well, you're going to be able to do it after this. All right, get ready, y'all. Josh, you still here? So, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Kentucky Bill of Rights and we're going to look at Section 2. And what's going to happen is we're going to get an understanding of what republic means or Republican form of government. Now, you guys see that I want to get you to bend your thinking a little bit. Don't think of representative as somebody who controls you. Don't look at representative as somebody who is your leader, because that's how we've been taught what representative means. These are your leaders in Congress. No, the freak, they're not our leaders in Congress. They're our servants who leave the state where they said that they will follow what we say, and they're going to Congress to vote the way we freaking say it. Now, they're not voting over our rights. As much as they want us to believe that, hey, we can vote away your rights, they might be able to vote away the rights of that foreign nation called DC that's 10 square miles, but they can't vote away the rights of the people in the states. I can guarantee you that and prove it to you. But they're trying to deceive us. So, Josh, let me know if you got that Republican, that Bill of Rights from Kentucky, Section 2. Now, I want you guys to see this, and everybody share this video because we are going to bring back justice to America. We are going to bring back. Can you copy it and paste it here, Josh? Does that work? We are going to bring back justice to America by God. And we are going to stand on our strengths. And we have to learn to do it. So let's while Josh is getting it for us, let's go back and let's bring together what we've learned so far. What we've learned so far, we are not a democracy. Number 2, we have what's called a Republican form of government. Number 3, in a Republican form of government, we don't have leaders and we don't have rulers. We have the people who control the government and instruct our representatives and tell them what to do to handle our business, and they are not writing legislation for our rights. They are writing legislation to handle the business of the people, and that's all they were hired for. They want us to believe that they can sell our power away, and they can't. Watch this. People are telling you guys you gotta wear a mask. Republic and Republican form, they're going to follow the same rules. Republic is only a root word of Republican. So watch this. Absolute. Watch this, guys, because they want to tell you have to wear a mask and this is what you got to do and you got to stay home. You got to do this, do that. You can't work. You can't whatever. Absolute and arbitrary power over what? Over the lives, liberty, and property of free men, that's people who are not slaves, exists nowhere in a republic. Not even in the largest majority. So when you go to every one of your state constitutions, you're going to find where it says that nobody can touch your property without due process of law or a jury of your peers. Why? Because we are a common law nation, and in a republic, nobody gets to vote away your rights, which are your property. Nobody gets to vote away your life, right? And I don't give a freak how much of a majority they have. So, what these people have been trying to tell you is we have a democracy and people are going to go down in Congress and they're going to vote to see what we're going to follow and what laws we're going to have passed. When you go into Congress and you write statutes for the federal, that is not things that have to do with my rights as one of the people in a state. Because a state has to have a Republican form of government. Now, y'all might not believe me, but when the United States was created, they had to guarantee, as their foreign nation corporation self, that even though they're a democracy and they can rule over their little 10 square miles, that they have to guarantee to every other state, or to every state, a Republican form of government. And I'm going to prove it. Anybody who wants to look this up, go to Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution for me and show me what it says. Article 4, Section 4, copy and paste it here. Look at what Josh said. Absolute, right? Meaning you got a ruler, because the ruler has absolute power. And arbitrary. Oh, they get to just make it up as they go, like they're trying to do for a lot of the COVID so-called rules. Arbitrary power over the lives. Nobody gets to tell you what the freak you're going to do in your life in one of the states in a Republican or republic government or Republican form of government. They don't get to tell you what to do with your lives, liberty, and property. Your children are liberty interests. They can never, ever, 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 ever just tell you that they're taking your kid because they want to. They have lied. They have cheated. They have used DC law, literally DC law, to over apply jurisdiction to the several states, and they are not supposed to do that in a Republican form of government. Now, Josh just said absolute and arbitrary power. This comes from Kentucky Bill of Rights, Section 2. Absolute and arbitrary power over the lives, liberty, and property of free men exists nowhere in a republic, not even in the largest majority. This also means in a republic, they cannot vote away your rights just because they have a majority. So a lot of y'all have been fearful, wondering, how in the world is it that they're going to force us to take vaccines? They can only force people to take vaccines in that foreign country called DC, where they have no Bill of Rights. In America, which is not DC, Arizona, Michigan, Idaho, Iowa, right? Massachusetts, New Hampshire, right? Vermont. They cannot force you to do a dang thing with your life and your liberty. Now, they try to trick you by naturalizing you through the United States Constitution, saying you're a DC, because the United States is DC. They're trying to get you under a DC jurisdiction. But let's read Article 4, Section 4. Why do they have to say this as the United States? The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against evasion and on application of the legislature, blah, 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 blah. Right? Guys, they have to give us a Republican form of government. Now, Roy Palmer, all you got to do is go and look at Social Security Act of 1935, Section 1101, 6D. And you'll see where it says that no federal, nothing in this act shall be construed as authorizing any federal agent, officer, or representative to take charge of any child over the objection of either of the parents or person standing in loco parentis to such child. So you only went 9 months. See, I had a fight, and I ended up learning all this stuff after the fact. So now I got to fight backwards and try to get my little guys back. I've gotten approximately 75 kids back. It's actually 75 plus. using the real law and showing how they overstood. What's up, Ty? Overstood their jurisdiction. So, guys, we are going to win and we're going to have massive victory, and the people are going to come together and stand. But this is what we have to do. We got to realize that the United States District of Columbia said that we have to be given, and we are guaranteed to have a Republican form of government in every state. So, guys, we don't have to worry about what Biden says. We don't have to freaking worry about what our legislature in the state says. We are guaranteed a Republican form of government. Anybody who interferes with that is breaking the law. Now, when it comes to our state legislatures doesn't realize that they're in a Republican form of government. Somebody told them that they are our leaders, and they made a big mistake. You are not my freaking leader. You are my servant. If you look at the 1877 Georgia Constitution, if somebody wants to get it as ratified without subsequent amendments, and you look at the Bill of Rights, and you look at, I believe, Section 1, it's going to tell you that the government was created on the people's will only. The people have all power, and that the government workers or officials are our trustees and servants. Trustees and servants. So if they are our trustees and servants, they can't be writing statutes to go against us and steal our stuff, steal our kids, steal our houses, steal our cars. They are messing up. And the only reason, guys, that this is happening is because we didn't know that we were the leaders. This is why they won't talk about the word republic or Republican. Now, let me ask you guys, with these two laws that I've just shown you, can anybody see that we have been tricked and that it is our duty to actively instruct our representatives meaning those who are carrying out our business? It's kind of like if you call T-Mobile, and T-Mobile has a representative that answers the phone call. Are they the boss of the business, or are they just handling the business of the CEO? In a company, a representative is one who is a worker who is carrying on business of the company and must be in their best behavior. President Trump is just a representative, right? Pence was just a representative. They're working in the middle of a business created by the people. Okay? Now, the thing is that the United States in their contract guarantees that they have to give a Republican form of government. Now, are we doing right by ourselves and our families and our friends if we don't hold them to that, guys? And let me know. Please give me a yes or a thumbs up if this is making sense to you, and if it's lifting your heart, if it's helping you to understand your true power. Let me know. If it sucks and it doesn't make sense and I'm the worst teacher ever, tell me too. But in order for us to have victory and to stand the way that we're supposed to, in order to win, in order to have confidence, in order to be strong, we're going to want to know the truth. And if we don't know the truth, we have nothing to stand on. And when we have nothing to stand on, we feel afraid, we feel powerless, we feel weak, we feel cowardly, we feel soft, right? So when we understand what we really are and how the wheels on this cog rolls and how it fits together and what my place is, what my purpose is, then I can really stand in strength. So it is our job. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, Trinity. Thank you, T. Tate. Thank you, Ty Sherwood. It is our job to stand in the position and the role that God has given us. And if we don't stand in dominion, we end up getting taken advantage of. So what we have to do is show the people where their rights are and how to use them, right? So in order for you guys to see this, if anybody can pull up 1877 Georgia Constitution, I know is a hard one. So let's look up the Virginia Bill of Rights. And what I want you to do is I want you to go to the part that talks about magistrates and government officials and what they are. I think it's like section 2 or 3. Somebody go there and pull up Virginia for me. Now, if it's making sense, guys, please let me know. Give me good feedback because I don't like to ramble on. I don't want to hold you too long, but I want this to get into your mind and I want it to be encoded. And I want you to be able to stand on it with all your heart, because this is how we win. So let's look at some of the bills of rights or declarations of rights of the states. If somebody wants to go to the Arizona Constitution, please pull up Article 2, Section 2 and post it here. And then if you could after that, please pull up Article 2 of the Constitution, which is the Declaration of Rights, Section 1. And I'm going to show us our power, and then I'm going to show us our responsibility. I'm going to show us our power, and then I'm going to show us our responsibility. Thank you so much, Steve. So let's look at Article 2, Section 2 of Arizona Constitution. Article 2, Section 2 of Arizona Constitution, Declaration of Rights. Now, this is super important because we are looking to free ourselves from this fascism, communism, foolishism, right? We want to get rid of all of it. So we need to understand our power and how to express that power and how to lead our public officials. And we don't do that by permission. We do that by right. Thank you, Crystal Clear Truth with Crystal. Much love, Mama C. So, Article 2, Section 2 of Arizona Constitution. I wish I could pull it up myself now, but this program does not allow me to pull up stuff on my phone and keep you guys at the same time. So I don't want to mess up the signal or mess up the flow. But if somebody else can grab it, okay, perfect. Josh Barnett. Watch this, y'all. All, not some, all political power is inherent in the people. So the power belongs to us, guys. Watch this. And governments derive their just powers. Now, if they can derive just powers, they can also steal unjust power or unlawful power. Governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Now, who's the governed? Not us. Because the thing is, guys, the governed are the ones who consent to working in the system. If you decide to work for the government, which belongs to us, you now have agreed to be bound by their rules, statutes, and codes. So when you're at work, you're bound by them in a Republican form of government because you swear to us that you're not going to go against what we say. Now watch this. And are established. What's the whole purpose of government? Are established to protect and maintain individual rights. Now, guys, they don't want you to believe that you have individual rights. What's individual rights? The right to your kid, the right to work how you want to work, the right to make money outside of whatever somebody tells you you can do, right? As long as it's lawful, you ain't hurt nobody else, right? Now, I'm going to show y'all some super fire. Because you got individual rights, and the government in the Republican form of government is based on you being in control and in power. Watch this. Trinity. Trinity dropped that fire. Georgia, 1776 Constitution. That's very close to the one I was saying. But watch this. Okay, here we go. Origin and foundation of government. Watch this, y'all. All government of right originate with the people, is founded upon their will only. Whose will only? The people's will only, not the government. So the people's will is what's important in a Republican form of government. That is another part of the definition. Not only do we instruct the government, not only do we rule over the government, but we also create the government based on our will only. It ain't got nothing to do with what the legislature want. So when you get these legislative officials who freaking go out and say, well, we gonna just vote how we want to, and I'm a representative and you're just a peasant old freaking citizen, I don't have to listen to you, they have lost their way. Watch this. And is instituted solely for the good of the whole. Watch this. Public officers are the trustees and servants of the people and are at all times amenable to them. That means accountable, right? They have to answer to you at all times. So when you ask them what the law says, if you say, hey, I have a right to be in a Republican form of government and you don't get to remove my rights because you write a piece of paper, the freak is wrong with you? What happens is that They have not been taught by their attorneys that we have a Republican form of government. So the attorneys are all working together, throwing us up under the bus, telling the legislature what to write. Hey, write that you could take away their rights and make them wear a mask. Write that you could tell them anything to do and the governor can be the ruler. Tell them that we can make a king again. Tell them this. Tell them we could take their car and take their house and we could legislate in all the cases and get more money as attorneys. You have no right to take our kids. You have no right to take our cars. You have no right to take our houses. And you cannot write legislation to go against the people. It does not work. It does not happen. And that is not what exists in a Republican form of government. Guys, if this says that the government is created founded on your will only, guys, tell me what in the world does their will matter? The government officials, you're right, Shannon Henderson. Prison for profit. That's right. Kids for cash. Why? Why are they doing that? Much love, Trish. Happy to see you. Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Guys, the question is, how many of us have been instructing our representatives? How many of us have been actually writing notices and saying, hey, 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 don't you go down that road. Hey, 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 don't you do that. Hey, don't touch that. It's hot. Right? Well, Shannon, the reason they do whatever they want is because we're not telling them what to do. Here's the question. Watch. And Shannon, you're going to be able to see this, I hope. And this isn't, I'm not coming at you negatively with this. I'm asking you a question. Because I understand they burned you just like they burned me and burned other people. But we have been seeing some remedy lately. They've been doing what we tell them to do. And Josh Barnett is proof of that. Him by himself has been writing notices to the government and they've been taking action when they don't want to come to work, they don't want to do nothing, and they're doing it. So here's the thing. They are trying to protect their pockets and their cronies, but here's the problem. Okay, have we been telling them with our mouth or have we been writing them notices and letting everybody see and coming together and doing it together? Because if we have been giving government notice and writing them notice in the legislature and directing them and doing it together, then we should all have copies of the notices, right? So what I asked then is for everybody who's been giving notice to the government for the last year, 2 years, 3 years correctly in the legislature, show me the notices. Attach them to my page and show. Because we can always have this attitude like they do whatever they want to do. They got all the power. That's like having somebody raping your kid right in front of you and saying, well, they're stronger than me. I'm just going to let them do it. If you don't stand your butt up and fight the right way, then what you say about what you're doing and what they know means nothing. Oh, wow. That's deep, Crystal Nettle. That's super deep. And that's the thing. We're not giving, like Ty Sher would say, puppies do wrong, we don't give good instruction. See, if you get a popsicle, right, and you feed it to your dog on the bed, and then you get a piece of chicken and give it to your dog on the bed, when the dog comes up with a piece of something that's dirty on your bed, you're going to get mad. But you're giving the instructions. You're telling them what to do. That's right. Courts cannot interfere with the rule-making powers of legislative bodies. Now, this is what's important. Because Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution says that the Congress shall have the power to create legislative tribunals. Tribunals lesser than the Supreme Court, meaning it's not a court of the people. It's the business of the legislature entity. But also, they are not allowed to turn that on the people. Hey, somebody pull up Article 2, Section 1 of the Arizona Constitution. I'll show y'all some more fire. So, here's the thing. I don't believe, and you guys will never hear me say, the government has all the power, they can do what they want to do, they're going to punk us, they're going to hurt us, they just run us over. I'm a guy from the ghetto, I'm a guy from the hood, right? So, that's right, Doug. So, and listen guys, I'm going to tell y'all something. Don't get mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Joe Biden is not your president. But I'm going to tell you something else that's even deeper. Some of y'all going to get mad without understanding what I'm saying. But I'm going to say the next thing. And Donald Trump ain't your president either. And he wasn't your president. He was your servant that worked as the president. See, Do you realize how much money is passed around? Well, you know what, Shannon, I look at it like this. There was some drug dealers in the ghetto, right? And they had a lot of money. And they used to steal bikes. They used to carjack people. They used to do a lot of things. And one day they told me, um, don't get on my park bench. Don't step over here. Don't touch this. And, well, they told everybody not to. And I kind of just went and stepped on the park bench. And this guy grabbed me by my shirt, picked me up off the ground, and slammed me into a tree. And when he slammed me into the tree, I turned and punched. I knocked his hands down, punched him in the face, kicked him with a karate kick. He tried to punch me. I ducked up under, kicked him in the leg, punched him again until he quit. And then after that, he didn't want to punk me no more. See, everybody is a bad mama jamma until the people stand up. Everybody is a bad mama jamma until the people stand up. Everybody is a gangster until the people stand up. Everybody is a ruler until the people stand up. Everybody. So when somebody wants to express rule over you, it happens when you don't know that you have a right to be the power. If you don't know that you have all the power, they're going to rule over you and do everything. We tolerate a lot of bull because we don't know what we are. And here's proof. How many have sent notices to the government and asked them and said to them, you don't rule over us, and how many of you have authority over the people? And wait for them to respond. You will never see a government official say, I'm your daddy, I rule over you, because they know that they'll make you mad, and then when you're mad, you might get upset and stop them. So what they'll do is they'll say, we are leaders. It's our job to lead you. No, the freak, is not your job to lead me. You don't rule over the people. You're a freaking servant. That's all you are. You're an indentured servant. You signed a contract to be a slave of the people, pretty much. You're going to do what we say, and you're not going to do what the freak you want to do, and you're not going to affect our rights. That's what the freaking law says. And the problem is we're afraid. We're afraid. We're scared. We're hurting. We're hurting because we don't know our standing. And people are telling us stuff and we don't know what to do, and we're crying and we're in pain, right? They told me I am private. You are private. So the thing is that in the private, government has no control over anybody. If you're doing some commerce and you're in the public, they could have control to regulate you on behalf of the people. But once you're off the clock, they don't regulate you no more. Once you go into the private, they don't regulate you no more. And this is what we have to understand. We are to instruct. Okay, you use the same words to their faces. Shannon, I ask you to show it to me. Show me on paper where you have given these people notice. Show me on paper where you've gotten other people to give these people notice, and show me on paper where you're continuously teaching people to grow and use their power together. See, if you just say something, that means nothing. Like Shannon, we could be somewhere alone and I can say something to you and there's no witness, and I can say I never said it, and you can say you said something and it's no witness. There's no witness. Hey, where'd you post it, Trinity? Is it Article 2, Section 1? If you can't, post it again. See, Shannon, this is the thing. A lot of us have been hurt to the point that we don't believe we have power anymore. So when we get to the point that we've been so hurt that all we could talk about is our pain and how bad these people are and how tough these people are, we're giving them power that they don't have. We're living in an imaginary land where they've been just doing stuff to people based off of laws that don't exist. It's about time that we start calling it out in the public with notice, in writing, where it can never disappear, and we can start asking these people what's happening. It's on video, but if it's on video, it's not in writing. It's not in writing. And if it's not in writing, it can be said it never happened. It's not official if it's just on video. It means nothing. Okay, so please post the notices on my page so everybody can see. Because the thing is that we've just seen government officials moving like crazy. We see government officials talking with Josh Barnett. We see government officials giving us our way. We see government officials giving back kids. We see government officials doing all types of stuff. So the thing is that we have to stand. That's the wrong one, Trinity. Look up. You're looking up Article 2.1. Look up Article 2, Arizona Declaration of Rights, Section 1. It's going to be the first one. It says, no, that's the wrong one. It says a frequent recurrence to fundamental principles. So guys, what we got to understand is that we have all political power. Some of us are hurt, and some of us are going to focus on the hurt we have. I'm not that type of person. You do something wrong to me, it is what it is. We gonna fight and we gonna deal with it, right? So Josh Barnett posted Article 2, Section 1. Here's what it says: a frequent recurrence. That means we have to go back a whole bunch of times, right? To fundamental principles, the basic rules of law. And why? It says is essential to the security of individual rights and perpetuity, the ongoing free government. See, if you don't want the government to slave you, you got to go back to fundamental principles often and teach them. Why? Because there's always going to be a power that is going to be sought inside of man that allows them to gain more. And so when they're working for you, if you don't teach them fundamental principles over and over and over again, they're going to lose their way and get to a point where they rule over the people. So I'm telling you what our forefathers said in 1910. In 1910, they were smart enough to know, hey, if you don't tell these legislative body members and these government officials what to do, they're going to lose their way and do what other people want them to do and enslave you. Now, I'm going to ask Josh Barnett as a witness. Josh, when we step up against government officials and start telling them what to do, have you noticed a different response in them when it's done correctly with jurats and affidavits and notices done the way they're supposed to be done? Have you seen a difference in how they respond to the information and how they deal with you and how they respect you compared to how they do when you just speak somewhere or when you just say, stop being shady or I know my rights? Have you seen a difference, Josh? Highly responsive. Okay. So they're highly responsive to you. Now, Josh, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you currently a government official that they would even be responsive to you? Are you one of the inside few that work for them so that they're just talking to you because you got hired as a member of Congress or something? Or are you literally like a man who owns business, a gym owner, and you are actually communicating with Congress and they're following you and highly responsive? And I'm asking this guy so you guys could have a witness of somebody who's doing it. He says, I am even bigger. I am one of the people. That's right. So Josh understands his role as one of the people, and he is actually kicking some butt and doing some things. And I'm going to tell you what we got set up. So, one thing that we are doing is right now, today, we are setting up with Josh Barnett to do a notice to the legislature, Karen Fann and Rusty Bowers and the rest of the legislature. And we're going to give them notice that we don't appreciate how they messed up with slow walking in the form of an audit, and that we demand that they get rid of the board of supervisors that have went against the people, and how it was their job to understand what the law was when they got hired, which they swore to do. And if they did not do it, they broke the law. And then on top of that, we are demanding who we desire them to use to do as the people. We are demanding them to use who we say use for the audits, right? Somebody who's fair and right. Now, we're going to actually do that today. So if you want to stand as the people, or you want to witness us do it, jump on Josh's Twitter. He can give you his Twitter. Jump on Josh's Facebook. And we're going to show you today how we're going to show the people of Arizona how to have power. We're going to do a mass email to all the people on our email list, and you're going to see we're going to take action and we're going to do exactly what the law says do. And so the law tells us the way to step up and stand on our rights. And we've had many victories. Many victories. And so people can say what does not work. But if they're not actively doing it the right way, then you really can't say. But I'm giving you guys practical steps that you can use right now. Practical steps. Practical steps you can use right now to be able to stand and love optimistic. What is good is that Trump just came out with an executive order talking about how the administrative agencies are affecting the people and doing wrong against them. And so we'll be able to use that against child welfare, and we'll be able to make the connections to get them. And so I want to say this, guys. We've seen 75 kids come home. David Strait has seen 1,400 kids come home. He was getting kids home long. He had 250 kids back when I just met him. CNN just removed the COVID vaccine death count. Yeah, they're dirty. But the thing is, guys, we can stand on our power. We can give notice. If we give notice correctly, guys, they can't just force vaccines on anybody, right? We can do that, right? And so we have the power to stand and to set things straight and in order. No, it's not the Insurrection Act. It's actually just an executive order where he called them out for what they did, showing that it really existed, which we can use the executive order against them. Now, here's what's deep. Um, when we got 75 kids back, President Trump never came down and said this. He never said, "Hey, these people showed me where y'all are breaking the law." He put it inside of a freaking executive order. Look in the middle of COVID, I think in June or July 2020, Trump did a executive order strengthening CPS, actually showing that CPS was trafficking and taking kids unlawfully. Now, I don't give a freak if Donald Trump come to a hearing and help us or not. I don't care. We've been able to get over 70 kids with me, 75, and David Strait over 1,400. I don't give a freak if Trump decides to help or not. I don't give a freak who the servant is in office at the time. We stand on the freaking law. Thank you, T-Tate. We stand on the law. It does not matter. It does not matter who the servant is at the time that we stand on the law. I don't give a freak who they are. I don't give a freak how strong they think they are. I don't give a freak what statute they write. It ain't got nothing to do with the people in a Republican form of government. So what do we need to do? We need to all come together and stand on our rights in a Republican form of government and give notice to the government of what we are in mass. See, we took 2,000 affidavits and hit Trump's trafficking council, hit his lady that he chose for the trafficking appointee for Health and Human Services, and they came out and said, "Oh, we actually realized that CPS and their partners are trafficking, and we want whistleblowers." That's what happened in real life. What is the name of the article Trump said the administrative? It wasn't an article. It was actually an executive order much bigger than an article. It was crazy. It just came out recently. It's nuts. So guys, we can come together and see all of this junk was fun and games when we did not know that we are to be in a Republican form of government, right? And here's the thing. There is a lot of corruption out there. But I look at it like I don't give a freak how much corruption it is. I give a freak about how much power we have as the people. And I give a freak about um, how much we can express our power in the form of writing and standing in front of these people's face. That's what the freak I care about. I don't look. It's like when you have an enemy, right? When I was in the ghetto and they had enemies and they were out talking junk or doing whatever, I didn't care about how strong the enemy was. I cared about how strong my God was, and I prepared for whatever battle I was going to have to have. If I knew I was going to get in a fight, I prepared and did the workouts and the kicks and the training that I need to do to prepare for the fight. I don't care how much strength somebody else has. If I'm in a competition, I don't care how much strength somebody else has. I don't care about how many attorneys somebody else has. All I give a freak about is, am I going to stand on what's right, on what's true? Am I going to stand on my power? And if I bring my A game and I get other people to bring their A game, we are going to have great results. I just did a search on the White House link. It says error on Trump executive order. Wow. Yeah, it don't matter. We all got proof of what was done and said. It ain't no big deal, you know? And that's the thing. You can try to hide all you want. But I'm going to show you guys something about the power that you have. Some of y'all are getting restricted on Facebook, right? Some of y'all are getting restricted and kicked off of Twitter. I'm suspended from Twitter. I got restricted. They killed my first account at 5,000 on Facebook, right? I tell you what. There's a lot of haters and trolls that chase after me all the time, try to report me to the FBI, report me to this group and that group, and I don't give a freak. I don't care. I don't spend my day worried about them. Why? Because I realize the reason they're chasing after me is because they understand the power I have and the influence I have. They know what the freak I am. And if somebody has no power and there's weak, you don't have to limit them. You don't have to chase after them and make sure they have no platform. I got people who hate on me who make videos about me all day and night. I don't give a freak about their platform. I don't even watch their videos. Why? Because they're irrelevant to me. They're soft, they're weak, and they cannot control the power that God has given me. Twitter, Facebook, and all of those are getting rid of our accounts because they know exactly what the freak you are. They know exactly that your voice is powerful. They know that they can lose control of the whole nation because 10 of y'all decide to talk. 100 of y'all decide to talk. Okay, Shannon, if there was no recent middle of the year um, executive order on strengthening CPS, then I'm going to ask you to please stop posting on my page. I said it was in June or the middle of 2020, Shannon. So I understand that you're full of doubt and all this stuff, but I really don't have time for it right now. Like, you're starting to interrupt my video. And that if you understand the power of that executive order, it helps anybody who lost kids. And it stops people from losing kids in the future. But I understand you're sad about a lot of stuff and you might be negative about stuff, but really, like, come on now. Like, this is going too far. I really want to be really nice to you and humble with you, but you're going too far. And it's just, I understand you want to have your voice heard and you want to say how hard stuff is, but I don't live that reality. My little guys got taken too, and I'm still fighting for them back, and I'm not a weak, pathetic, soft punk. I'm a freaking monster. That's what I am. I freaking fight with everything, and I tell people to stand on truth, and people win, and we've had a lot of victory. I, I, I don't have a weak bone in my body where I'm sad or broken. I'm not giving people a message of being sad or broken. I'm not talking about how powerful some government is, even if they got a tank. I understand that Twitter and Facebook has to shun people because they're afraid of what we can do. And I understand that, and I know that with all my heart. The God of heaven said that the people is one, and nothing will be restrained from them that they imagine to do because they're one. So if we're doing good and we're doing right things and we are one, I don't have enough softness in me, Shannon, to spend a lot of time talking about how powerful other people are because they did something. Yeah, somebody raped a kid. That makes them powerful. Let me catch them. I bet you they ain't going to be that more powerful. All right. So you can choose in your mind to say that people are powerful and they rule and they got so much strength or whatever, but that's not really tough. That's not really standing on the strength that God has given you. And if somebody has pulled your faith away, it might not be the best to talk a whole lot because you're giving off weakness, and that ain't what people need right now. People need to stand in their strength and be strong, powerful, stand on the faith that God has given them and have real steps to win. And the nation is attacking the people now because we are too powerful. And we're going to come together and be more powerful. Now, there's a lot of videos out there that you can go on where people will cry together and kumbaya, my Lord, and all this stuff when they're weak and soft and give up. Maybe maybe it should be something that you go on those videos where people who are sad will hang together and talk about their doom and gloom together. But I'm just not that type of person. We gonna win, right? We do have the dominion. We are victorious. We are more than conquerors in Christ Jesus. And I'll never be the one to come on talking about, guys, it's all over doom and gloom. They're too strong for us. Never. We are too powerful. And God has given us too much for us to be out here clowning, allowing pedophiles and different people to tell us that they're going to rule over us and we just have to take it. If we just had to take it, they wouldn't be talking about exterminating us or talking about let's put them in some type of camp, let's stop them. Yeah, you want to stop them because you realize they have more power than you. That's the same thing that happened with Egypt in the Bible when they realized that God's people were too powerful and that they had no way to slow down God's people. So they said, let us deal with them in a certain way so that we can make it hard on them and they don't if there's a war, right? Hold on, guys. I'm putting my charger in because my phone is about to die. Please forgive me. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to give you guys this video. Somebody told me to explain democracy and explain a republic. So democracy is a place or a type of government system where a few people or a group of people or one person might, a couple of people might rule by voting to say what things are going to be in the form of rights, rights and how property and different things will be administered in a government. Now, a republican form of government is where the people have all power. The government is created by their will, and then they hire people as trustees and servants to carry out the work that they want, but the people are not allowed, that are workers, are not allowed to make laws or statutes against the rights of the people or to interfere with what the people have in the form of power already established before or declared after its creation. So in a republican form of government, it is not allowed for them to make laws for the people. The people have all political power and the government are just carrying out business for them. That's it. All right. So we the people have the dominion. We the people have the power. We the people are strong. We the people should be fearless. This isn't a time for you to fear. What will happen will happen. But the thing is that you have a say-so in what happens by how you stand. And so what people don't want you to know is that you have the power to make a decision. You have a power to declare your rights. You have a power to be free. As long as they can get you to think that you're a democracy and that they get to vote on your rights, you lose. Because all you're going to get is two bad guys that decide to vote on what they think is best, not acknowledging what your rights are. In a republican form of government, you have people who can vote on stuff that is your business that is below your rights. So for instance, they can vote on what time they're going to close the park. They can vote on what time they're going to close the people's courtrooms, right? What can all the people who have lost their careers business do because of COVID? Well, one thing that people can do in a republican form of government is exercise their right to move into the private sector, the private domain. So in the private domain, now some people say, well, I have a private business. That's not really private. Private is when you create your entity yourself or somebody else creates it outside of government permission. Weakness is thinking you can reason with oh my gosh, listen, if you want to be a coward and say, you can reason with these people, I am fixing it and I'm going to fix it. And thank you for saying bye, because you're really interrupting. And you're being you have this defeatist attitude. You might as well just give up on life. If you're going to think that way, you might as well give up on everything you dream of and just take what people give you. And if you're willing to live that type of life, it's really a sorry situation. You have to make a decision on how you want to live, if you want to live or if you want to exist. What you're doing now is existing. You're saying, oh, it's all over with. They did this and did that and this, whatever. Right? You can reason with those who knowingly profit off of our loss. They're profiting off of our loss because you ain't telling them what to do, and the people aren't controlling them. That's what it is. If you don't exercise control, they'll let the next person control. You know, it's kind of like your kids. If you don't tell your kids what to do, they'll go on the street and let other people tell them what to do. It's simple to understand. So anyway, hey, Shannon, if you can't, just block my channel and let's just make this easier. Say goodbye, block the channel, and then that way we ain't got to go through this no more. But anyway, guys, so we got to stand on what we are to stand on. We have to stand on truth. We have to use the power that God has given us in order to be free, and we have to take the steps we need to take. So anybody who wants to see how to instruct your government, we're going to do a campaign probably starting today. Josh said it was cool for me to talk about it. We're going to be sending out notices to the government, and we are going to let them know how we want things to go inside of this election situation. We are going to give them our grievances and let them know how we're not happy about what it is that they have done. I'm going to try to see if Josh can get one of the government officials to put it on a record, which nobody likes in government, because it's going to show that they're doing wrong against us. What we need to do is as a citizen is get together, all of us write our own affidavits to what Biden has done, and then can be impeached by. That's right. That's some freaking fire. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. See, when we get together and we start talking long enough, we start getting some strong people who start standing on what is right, what is true, what is proper. Now, this is one of the greatest comments ever, because we can order the government to impeach people who are doing wrong. As a matter of fact, in Arizona, you're going to see the notice that we did. We told the legislature we want them to impeach the board of supervisors for the lack of attention to the people and the oath that they made. Now, that's some super deep. Marjorie put in articles of impeachment on Biden for quid pro quo. Wow. Woo. Shucks. See, that's real strength. That's real power, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all got some bad mama jammas, and y'all are some bad mama jammas out here who want to seek justice and do what's right. And if we focus on all the stupid things that's happening, all the problems we've had, I want to see my little guys just as much as some of you want to see your little guys. I want to see my little guys just as much as some of y'all want to be off of child support, right? Some of y'all are getting raked through the coals. They're stealing your money. You can't even see the kids, right? I want to see my kids like some of you guys want to have your house back that somebody took, right? And the thing is that we have to stand on our power and stand on our rights. And this is how powerful you are. Your forefathers declared independence against the king and won. The most mighty army in the world. And they won. They were dropping shells, dropping freaking water to surface, land surface bombs on people who were holding up the flag of the United States of America. And the people were so strong in their mind that they said, we're not going to give up. And after they got done shelling, they're like, how in the world is this flag still standing up? People were holding up the flag, right? What I understand is there are some people who just believe in God so much and care so much. They care so much that they're not going to give up. And this is why I refuse to listen to people with a defeatist mentality. Because either you have not trusted your God enough, or you done gave up on him or something, to the point where you are so worried about the power of a man and what they have that you can't even stand on strength and truth and what the law says. There was a time where the government officials were not acting like they're acting now. And if that is the case, then there can be a time again where they're not acting how they act. What's the difference? The people understood what their rights were. The people trusted in God and stood in faith and did what was necessary to have victory. So I'm not doubting what God can do. Thank you so much, Mama C. That's some beautiful stuff. Beautiful words. I'm not doubting what God can do. I'm not doubting what's going to happen for us. I'm not going to doubt that God is going to free us. I'm not going to doubt that I have strength. We going to fight and do what we need to do by the law, and we're going to call these people out openly, and we're going to give notices to government and put it out in the open and let hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people see it, and dare them to ignore us. Dare them to ignore us. We're gaining headway as a people. Why? Because you guys are powerful. Because you are standing. They're trying to censor you because you are powerful. They wouldn't censor a weakling. They wouldn't censor a person who nobody's paying attention to. They're watching you. And they know that what you're saying is true. And they know that you're igniting the people. And they know by God you're going to have victory. And they don't want it to happen. So they're trying with their last stand on their last little leg they got left to get you to accept some foolishness, to accept some fraud so they can run it through and keep doing what they want to do wrong. But they know we ain't falling for it. So now they need the help of big tech to try to stop us. And it ain't going to work. So with that, guys, I'm going to give you this message. I love you guys. I thank you guys. You guys are the best. You guys are wonderful. Let me see. They record. Let me see. Leah. We have more right to impeach them than Congress. That's right. Putting in an impeachment. In fact, they put a fence up around Washington, D.C. They are a foreign entity. At this point, they recorded the inauguration a day before. So that means Biden is not our president, on top of the fact that they put a fence around the Capitol, which made them a foreign entity. Well, District of Columbia was already a foreign entity. It's not America. It's hanging off the edge. It ain't part of us, right? And that's what we got to realize. The American states, DC right now is trying to ask for permission to become a state because they know they're losing everything, and we understand what they are. They are District of Columbia putting a fence around the Capitol made them a foreign entity. They were already a foreign entity, though. But, you know, when we understand that we are guaranteed a Republican form of government, I don't give a freak what you do in your little 10 square mile nation when all of us are in a Republican form of government and we're not affected by your bull. You know, go do what the freak you do. We ain't gonna mess with you. Just don't mess with us. All right? But anyway, I'm going to catch you guys later. Y'all be cool. Y'all stay out of trouble. I'm going to say peace. I love y'all. Please share this message. Get it to everybody. We have a Republican form of government. We ain't got to go by their bull crap. All right? I will catch you guys later. Much love. Bless y'all. God bless America. And praise God. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.